issues during the broadcast, please call the Oregon Studio Hotline at 336-831-0864. Stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Duck's gonna pick it up, and here we go. Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. And he's gone.
How about that?
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
Duarte pulls up, 3-ball. Bang!
LJ Figueroa!
Oregon goes back to back for the fourth time in the last 6 years. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
Foley three. Goal! Foley ball. Three is good. Diarra-Savali. Wing. Pow. Yeah, boom, boom.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
What a weekend.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you, and we got a lot to get to today. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens will join us. We actually talked with Rob a little bit earlier today with some updates for you. We also will talk live with Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi coming up after her squad won the series against Stanford in the Pac-12 season, but they actually split the overall season because remember they're doing that second game that's a doubleheader that doesn't count toward the conference action. We're going to talk with Melyssa Lombardi about her squad. Also, Oregon baseball today, 3:45 pregame show and a 4 o'clock first pitch across the Oregon Sports Network. Anthony Brown, Spencer Webb, Patrick Herbert all met with the media today. An Oregon assistant coach is going to go play in the U.S. Open, which is ridiculously cool. But unfortunately, the bad news today, as the announcement coming from the governor's office that 15 counties around the state of Oregon will move into the extreme risk category. Lane County is among them, and that means that there will not be fans in attendance at the spring game, per the new announcement that Lane County is moving to extreme risk, as we were in high risk, and on Friday they will move to extreme risk, the county will. That means that there will be no fans in attendance at Autzen Stadium. Those of you who did claim a ticket, thank you for doing so. And we really look forward to having all of you back at Autzen Stadium in the fall as soon as we can do so safely. We're going to talk with Rob Mullens about that coming up as we sat down with him earlier today. We will have more details on it, but unfortunately that's the news, that Lane County is going to move to the extreme risk category, which means no fans at Autzen Stadium for the spring game. And man, I just hope that we can get back to a full Autzen Stadium in the fall. We did talk with Rob Mullens, though, earlier today, and we'll let him tell you a little bit about how these decisions are made, the process, and, well, we actually covered a number of positive topics with Rob Mullens as well. But more details will be on GoDucks.com. For those of you who did claim a ticket to the spring game, there will be an email going out if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour. Right around now is when it will be going out. If you're listening later on, there will be some details of course, on GoDucks.com and via that email blast that will go out from the University of Oregon Athletic Department. But we can all hope that as vaccines continue to roll out and folks keep wearing their masks and distancing and doing all the right things, that we can have a full Autzen Stadium. But again, no fans will be in attendance at the spring game with the announcement that Lane County is moving to extreme risk. We did talk with Rob Mullens, the Oregon Athletic Director, earlier today about that and a lot of other topics. Athletic Director Tuesday is always brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. Let's chat with Rob Mullens. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens, kind enough to take some time out of his busy schedule to join us. So we have a number of topics to cover, Rob. It's only been about a month since we last talked, but in the typical world we live in now, things change very rapidly these days. So thanks for taking the time. And how are things? Have you gotten any sleep in the last month since we last talked?
Not much, Joe. It's good to be back on with you. Obviously, we had postseason. And, I experienced the NCAA bubble with basketball. Obviously, we've had some volleyball postseason. And when you have 17 sports going all at once, as we've had in the spring here, it keeps you quite busy.
So stay tuned to GoDucks.com. We'll have some updates and some announcements for you. I'll be talking about it on the show and also our baseball broadcast coming up with the 3:45 pregame show this afternoon. 4 o'clock start for Oregon baseball against San Jose State. We'll talk about that program in a moment. Rob, you touched on it a bit there. Could you just kind of remind fans about the process and how you guys are are really going about doing this. There's a lot of moving parts for everybody to monitor.
There is obviously, from the very beginning, we've been fortunate, one, to have the Pac-12 Medical Advisory Group, but also incredible assistance locally through the university's incident management team. And then we've been in close contact with the Oregon Health Authority at the state level, and then Dr. Lucky and Lane County Public Health at the local level. They've been great partners, and really we've worked hand in glove to allow us to make whatever incremental step it was, whether it was return to practice, return to play. And now, the progress has allowed us to have a limited number of fans, mostly friends and family of student athletes, back in our venues.
Which has been pretty special. I mean, I want to talk with you a little bit about that, because I've heard from coaches, student athletes, that's what it's all about, right? Playing in front of the friends and family.
It really is all about that. And, obviously health and safety is always going to be the priority, but we've wanted to get as many as public health would allow into our venues, socially distanced and masked, and really appreciate the energy the fans have brought, the families have brought, and their full commitment to the protocols that we've laid out. Obviously, we've communicated those in advance. We have the communications in the venues, but the parents, the friends, the fans have been really, really supportive of all of us making this step back into being in venue. And even though it's been a limited number of fans, Joey, as you've experienced, when we have those special moments and opportunities in games, the fans have really been heard. And, when you talk to student athletes and coaches, this is one of their favorite parts of being at the University of Oregon, is being around that passionate base. And it's been fun to see them, although in limited numbers, back in our venues.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a selfish example. A walk-off broadcast call is not near as fun when there's nobody there to see it. So, on Saturday it was a lot of fun when Sam Nowitzki gets an RBI knock. Ducks win the series against UCLA in extra innings with a walk-off knock. I mean, if there's no fans there, suddenly it's not as exciting for everybody. I totally get it, and that's just my selfish version of that bubble. But for the student athletes, hearing the cheers from family and friends, man, that's what it's all about. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens is joining us. Let's talk about some of the things that fans are going to experience in venue. Some fans saw the brand new scoreboard and sound system, Rob, 2 Saturdays ago, I should say. Man, what a Herculean effort to have a brand new scoreboard that's really going to increase the fan experience. You and I haven't talked much about it. That's a cool addition to Autzen Stadium.
It's a wonderful addition. And as we have talked about in previous years, we obviously seek feedback very regularly from our passionate fan base. And sound was one of the big things that fans said, hey, we need improved sound in Autzen. Well, we have improved sound. I suspect that we'll get some feedback that it's too improved. It's pretty phenomenal. The video board on the east end is just spectacular, and the sound that goes with it. So really can't wait to have a full Autzen Stadium and have our fans finally, after waiting several years, for us to generate the funds to be able to do this, to get back in Autzen and see one of the best video boards and sound systems in all of college football.
Well, I'm glad that you brought up the sound, Rob. I'm going to be a real audio nerd for you here for just a second, okay? So we were talking about this on the show previously, and I actually have a correction to make. The decibel drop is only plus or minus 2 decibels in the entire bowl, which is so for an audio nerd like me, that's amazing. That's like saying that if I'm sitting in this corner of the room, Rob is sitting in his office over in the corner of the Caz on the other side. It's literally the same volume in both spots. That's what this sound system does. So did I cover that enough as an audio guy, Rob?
You've been hanging out with Chuck Poe. You guys got it down.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because I was talking about Chuck on the show previously, and he was the one that said, actually, you need to say it's actually even better than that. Like we've done testing, it's better than that. So fans, seriously, it's awesome. You're really going to enjoy it. It's really going to improve that of course iconic moment of It Never Rains in Autzen Stadium. I mean, Don Essig's never sounded so good. I can tell you that right now.
And as a practical matter, you're also going to be able to hear the penalty when the referee turns on his mic, which I know has been a problem in the past.
I love that. I love that you brought that up. Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, joining us. It's Athletic Director Tuesday, brought to you by Pepsi. Rob, one thing too, you talk about Autzen Stadium. The Autzen Stadium parking lot sure does look a lot different right now, as your squad, everybody has really tried to do the best that we can to help everybody get those vaccines and help everybody get safe, right?
No, that's exactly right. Obviously, as I said, we've worked close with our university incident management team and with Lane County Public Health on a number of initiatives. And here, the latest one is turning the East Artson parking lot into a max vaccination clinic, and it's been functioning very well. I have gone through that clinic myself and was really amazed at the efficiency, the organization, and really just the service of all the volunteers who are working there. And it's, when a community comes together to help us solve an issue like a pandemic, you need these sites, you need the volunteers, you need the experts to be able to execute it. And we're happy to play our role. And for anybody that comes through the Mass Vac site here at the East Autzen lot, you'll see on our new video board, linking the two together, a message on the backside just thanking everybody for keeping our community safe.
Yeah, I forgot about the backside of the video board. Got to talk to you about that because it's been cool. Hey, this is one of those things that again, nerd like me really thought was awesome. You see that for the vaccination clinic, but also the limited fans that were at Pape Field got to see some stuff on the backside of that video board. It's awesome to see. And just to give everybody an idea of the difference in these two things as you see them and we get back to normal and everybody's in Autzen Stadium, I think, Rob, you'll get a kick out of this. The footprint of the video board on the backside of the new video board is actually the same size as the visual area of the old board.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's
a fun fact.
It's very close to about the same size. Shout out again to Chuck Poe for these amazing facts. But that just tells you how much of a difference it is with this board. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about basketball, Rob. But what was the bubbling like? How was that for you to experience as an administrator?
Well, obviously it was great to be with the team and to be inside the bubble and be able to spend that time with them. Obviously, special thanks to the NCAA and to Indianapolis. I don't know how many cities could have pulled off that type of bubble, but with what they were able to do in Indianapolis, to be able to give us practice sites and to be able to accommodate 68 teams is quite an undertaking. Being in the bubble had its challenges. You were inside the entire time. Occasionally you could go out and get some fresh air when you were getting on the bus, or you could schedule a time to go walk around the minor league ballpark that was inside the controlled environment. But, it was great to spend time with the coaches and student athletes. Really, really impressed with how our organization handled it. And obviously really proud of the run that the men's basketball team had.
I feel like every year the men's basketball team's good for a Sweet 16, right? I mean, that's pretty unprecedented. It's really pretty amazing. Dane Altman, I'll just put it this way. There have been 10 NCAA tournaments contested when Dane Altman has been the head coach of the Ducks, and he's been to 5 Sweet 16s. You're averaging a Sweet 16 every other year. I don't know what else you could say about the man.
Right. Well, and there's Elite Eights and Final Fours as a part of that, too. So, I mean, the bottom line is he's a Hall of Fame coach. And as you said, incredibly consistent. And, in the NCAA tournament, sometimes it just comes down to draw. And, we caught a hot team. That's the bottom line. But, when we went in there as what were we, the 7 seed and really dominated the number 2 seed, we've done that several times as well, going in as the higher seed and found a way to win and get to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8. And, and obviously our women had a very successful run as well. In the San Antonio bubble. Lisa and some others were down there, and we're all working to address the issues of the inequities that were brought to light between the men's and women's tournament.
Yeah, and how about the women's team? I mean, it was another great run. I mean, you saw such a young roster again make a great run. That's what Coach Graves seems to do in the postseason.
No, it was, and they played their best basketball at the NCAA tournament. Which is what you want to build to do, but. This was such a difficult year for all of our teams, obviously with the stops and the starts and the new protocols and the stress of daily testing. So, just getting a season in was an accomplishment, and to see such a young team grow and again, play their best basketball at the end. Again, very, very proud of what they were able to do.
Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us. It is Athletic Director Tuesday, brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. If you're just joining us, the news with Lane County moving to extreme risk on Friday per the governor's office. That means no fans at Autzen Stadium for the spring game on Saturday. Those of you who did register and claim a ticket, thank you for doing so. Unfortunately, we've all had to pivot here again. No fans will be at Autzen Stadium on Saturday, and we're all looking forward to hopefully getting back to normal here coming up in the fall. So that's the latest as we were talking with Rob Mullens about a number of different topics. We'll continue that conversation here in a moment. I did see a couple questions coming in about the broadcast. So, yeah, the plan is that there will still be a Pac-12 Network broadcast. The spring game will still take place on Saturday. There will still be a spring game broadcast on the Oregon Sports Network as well. I will be treating it, meaning we on OSN will be treating it basically exactly like we did a regular season game at Autzen Stadium here this past fall. Jerry and Jorgie will be up in the booth on the broadcast to call it for you, tell you what's going on in the scrimmage and what's happening at the spring game, and I'll be roaming around on the concourse to give you a little different perspective. I saw David asking, is there a way for athletes to get vaccinated so it doesn't impact them playing their sport? Well, vaccines are available to the entire student population of the University of Oregon. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think I'm qualified to sit here in this chair and talk about how it could affect them in their sport because I simply just don't know, because as we all know, it affects everybody differently. It affected me a heck of a lot different than it affected my wife, and that's just my own little bubble of that. So, David, I'm not sure that I can answer that question, at least appropriately in this setting. We're going to continue our conversation with Rob Mullens, the Oregon Athletic Director. We talked about this morning actually a number of different sports. We'll get to that next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to really volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Learfield IMG College.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. It is Athletic Director Tuesday, brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. Continuing our conversation with Rob Mullens, the Oregon Athletic Director, as we hit on a number of different sports over the course of our conversation that we recorded a few hours ago. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us. It's Athletic Director Tuesday, brought to you by Pepsi. It's the first time in an awful long time, it feels like, that both Coach Altman and Coach Graves have had to make new additions to their staff. That's kind of a... Man, it's awesome to see. Like Coach Campbell, Coach Stubblefield, Coach Lopez. I mean, best of luck to them. That you and I have talked about this before, Rob. I mean, that's just kind of a cool deal when you have assistants that are sought after, because that means you're winning, right?
It does mean you're winning, and it means you have great people. We've seen that across the board here at Oregon Athletics. Again, we're founded on kind of team success, and then individual opportunities come off of team success. Obviously, we're here to help our staff achieve their career goals. And I know both Mark and Tony wanted to be head coaches. They were very patient. They contributed significantly to the success of Oregon men's basketball and Oregon women's basketball. And again, they were patient, waited for the right opportunity, believe both of them will be extremely successful. And we got nothing but thanks for all that they did for Oregon basketball. So, yeah, we're going to miss them, but we're also excited to see them at the next step of their career.
How big of a deal was it that the Pac-12 in both men's and women's basketball did so well in the postseason, and how great is that for the Conference of Champions?
No, it's fantastic. I mean, obviously, we sit in this footprint. We see it night in and night out. We understand how good Pac-12 athletics is, including Pac-12 basketballs. But sometimes it takes the kind of showing that we had in the postseason to really show the rest of the country what we see week in and week out.
Volleyball, you touched on it a little bit. Another Sweet 16 and a team that's going to have everybody back next year. Really looking forward to the future with Coach Ulmer.
Yeah, what a great year. Again, you know, there's a sport that, you know, really talk about interruption. They didn't have their fall schedule. You know, they had to figure out how to train in a unique way, then pivot to the spring. So proud. I mean, they are so fun to watch. The energy, you know, Brooke being an All-American. It's, yeah, really, really proud of what they were able to put together for a year. And then again, in the toughest league, you know, in that sport in the country, the future is very bright.
I'm convinced that if it was a normal year and there were 64 teams in the field for soccer, that we would have seen Graham Abel's first year be a postseason year for Oregon soccer. How about the first year for Coach Abel? It took a little longer to get going than he thought, but a pretty darn good year.
Yeah, similar to volleyball. You know, can you imagine taking over a program as a first-year coach and having a pandemic hit? Ironically, his experience with the U.S. women's national team and how they have to do a number of things remote really came in handy. That experience was very helpful, not only for women's soccer, but, you know, Graham was kind enough to relay some of that experience to our other coaches. And I agree 100%. If it was a normal year and a full field, Oregon women's soccer would have been in at the field in his first year. Again, just a remarkable job by the coaches and by the student athletes to being adaptive, to taking it day by day, and just preparing for when the opportunity came. A number of firsts this year for Oregon women's soccer, which were fun to reel off, but a great foundation for the future.
How about Hayward Field? That's a pretty darn cool venue, huh?
Wow. Yeah, it's the best in the world. You know, I was, you know, at the first event, I had the opportunity to go around and talk to different folks, student athletes, some of their parents, talk to a long-time Nike executive with a very hands-on role in track, and, you know, to a person, best in the world, incredible experience. I talked to a student athlete from a visiting team who ran in an event on Friday night of the first meet, and I was able to visit with him on Saturday at the event. And I just said, hey, what was your experience like running the 5K? And he said, Mr. Mullens, when I walked out of the tunnel onto the track, it felt like I was about ready to compete in the Super Bowl, and there weren't even fans here yet.
Wow.
So, you know, with the vision of delivering a theater for track that delivers on both the student athlete experience and the fan experience, you know, we understand what the student athlete's experience is like, and it's pretty special. Can't wait to get, you know, 12,000 plus in there to for the fan experience to take hold.
God, you're giving me chills, Rob. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, I can't wait either. Again, hey, the light is, Melyssa Lombardi said this, Rob. She said, I think the light is flickering at the end of the tunnel. We just got to make sure it doesn't go out. Now I think that light's getting a little brighter based on what you just said there. I'm all here for it.
Yeah, no, it's been a long, long, dark tunnel. And we are starting to see those flickers of light, but, you know, we all have to stay the course since we're so close, to help us all get there so we can return to some kind of normal in the fall.
A few more things that I want to get to, Rob, as we wrap things up with you. I know you're busy, so we'll go rapid fire a little bit for some sports that are now in the postseason and looking toward the postseason. Let's start with those diamond sports. How about Oregon softball? Still, it looks like they're in a position to host a regional, and they've put together a pretty darn good season so far.
They put together a great year, a great year. And obviously, again, when you look at the Pac-12, what do we have? 3-4 teams that are right in the top 10.
Yeah.
6 or 7 that are in the top 20. So you're talking week in and week out, the best competition in all of that sport. And so sure would love to have that regional and maybe even super regional at Jane Sanders Stadium. It's a special place. It's good for the sport. And we would love to be at home. And baseball's put together a heck of a year too, moved into the top 10. Again, much like softball, they've played a very tough schedule, and going on the road and beating Santa Barbara the way they did early in the year has done wonders for the RPI. So both of those programs, although we wear the green and yellow glasses, are deserving to host.
I totally agree. Now, I guess the nitty-gritty here is for Oregon baseball, this is probably a top 8 team right now, and it's a little different, Rob, this year with the way that the NCAA is doing regional seeding and how it's going to be done a little bit ahead of time. So let's hope that helps out the Ducks, with the way they've started their season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, to prepare for the protocols that'll need to be in place, the NCAA is going to award the sites, before the regular season's done and earlier than normal. I do think that they'll use a lot of the similar criteria, although they will have to project a little bit about where they think teams will finish in order to do it. So I don't think it'll be perfect. It won't be exact, but we all understand that given the environment we're in and what we need to be able to set up and pull off, it's the best way to do it.
Pac-12 championships for golf and tennis going on. We've got an assistant coach who's going to play in the U.S. Open from Oregon women's golf. I mean, that's awesome for Monica Vaughn. More on that coming up in a moment if you missed it. It's Pac-12 championship season for tennis and golf right now.
No, it's a packed spring, and obviously our women's golf team is going to get into a regional. We'll find out exactly where that is tomorrow. Derek and Monica have done a phenomenal job. Really excited. And I think that team, although it's young, has shown this year that they, the right draw, the right course, the right, if things line up, we can do something pretty special. And, men's golf's been building throughout the year, and you saw one of their best rounds of the year yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, much like we talked about men's basketball and women's basketball, if you're playing your best golf at this time of year, that's a really good thing.
Man, this is fun. Rob, I could talk to you for hours, but we've already kept you for about 20 minutes, so I'll let you go. And just make sure that we didn't miss anything. Anything else that you want to hit on before we say farewell?
No, I think we're good. I appreciate being on with you. Again, just want to say thanks to our fans. Really appreciate their patience. We're doing our best to communicate as things change regularly, and we will continue to do that. We are 100% following the directives from public health. So as we get that information, we will share it with our fans. And, again, appreciate the patience. And let's all keep working together to get this thing back to normal in the fall.
Oh, now I have chills again. I'm just thinking of a normal Autzen Stadium would be just. I don't think anybody could ask for anything else right now. I'm looking forward to it.
We're gonna. I think we're all gonna slow down and experience it a little more intimately. The motorcycle is going to sound a little crisper. The cheers are going to sound like the foghorn when we score all those touchdowns. Is all those sounds and smells. I just can't wait to get back in there and see and hear them.
Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, kind enough to join us. Rob, thank you for always taking the time. Thank you for what you do, and we'll catch up with you again, hopefully after a few more championships, huh?
Thanks. Go Ducks.
Rob Mullens, the Oregon Athletic Director, brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. That was a lot to unpack. If you're just joining us, no fans at the spring game with Lane County being elevated to the extreme risk category here coming up on Friday. It's unfortunate, but we all hope that we can get back to, as we were discussing there, that regular fall. I think that it's one of those things we probably all took for granted, and looking forward to getting back to it. When we come back, a few other updates around Oregon athletics, and then we're going to talk with Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi. Stick with us. It's Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not that far, sweetie.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already?
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's no time to think and no time to check if your child is in the right car seat. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your kids in the right seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Get more info at safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. And today's show brought to you by North Fork Public House. Open for takeout, northforkeugene.com. You know, we've been talking a lot about Oregon softball and how the standard has been set so high that if you don't sweep a Pac-12 weekend series, you're frustrated even though you still won. And that's kind of the theme that we've been talking about. And we're going to talk a little softball coming up with head coach Melyssa Lombardi as she connects with us in just a moment. Real quick, though, this is so cool, all right? Monica Vaughn is headed to the U.S. Open. The Duck assistant coach qualified to go to the U.S. Open. She shot a 9 under 63 yesterday to do it. And also, Product Kathleen Scavo is also going to head to the U.S. Open after qualifying by winning her event. So congratulations to a Pro Duck and assistant coach. And, man, that's just awesome. Meanwhile, we're doing it live today. Normally, we talk with Coach Lombardi earlier in the day, but via the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line, Coach is ready to join us. Do you have practice coming up right now? Is that are you getting ready for practice as we're talking right now, Coach?
Yes, I am.
What time is practice? We're live at 1:32. What time is practice?
Practice is at 3:45 today, so I got a little bit of time. Tuesdays and Thursdays we start a little bit later, but today. Perfect.
All right. Well, hey, I was talking, Coach, about for both you guys and for baseball this past weekend. Felt like you had an opportunity to sweep a weekend series in the Pac-12. You still won the series, but there was some frustration that you didn't sweep the series. I mean, so first, just some of your takeaways, and did I appropriately sum that up? And then two, I mean, how nice is it that you're frustrated that you didn't get a sweep, yet you still got a Pac-12 series win?
Yes, excited to get the series. Again, felt like, there's a couple things that if we do a little bit different, could have gotten a little bit more, but the Pac's a grind. So happy to get the series and know that it's just going to keep pushing us into the next weekend and what's next. So
I feel like the fact that you guys check in at number 8 in the rankings today, Coach, after just a slog of a schedule, that really says all you need to know about the strength of the Pac-12, right?
For sure, it does. I mean, you look at our losses, we have currently 10 losses on the season. 7 of them is to the defending champion. And
jeez.
In the 7, it's to the defending champion and to the semifinalist who lost to the defending champion in the World Series. And, we're frustrated about that too, because we had some opportunities to win games that we didn't. So we're right there. We just need to keep trusting the process and keep embracing the grind, because what this is doing for us is allowing us to be ready to go postseason.
You guys won 2-1, lost then 3-1 on Friday in the doubleheader. Had to adjust and face some adversity that's actually kind of normal for a softball season, adjusting due to weather. I mean, man, adjusting due to weather used to be like the headline of the weekend, but now it's just a schedule change. You guys are kind of used to that adversity now, right?
Yeah, for sure. We we practice in this weather all year round, so we know how to handle it.
7-4 win on Saturday, and then that Sunday loss 5-0. So, Coach, give us the breakdown of the weekend. And I have a couple follow-ups, I'm sure, after this. But, I mean, you guys did have 14 hits, most in a conference game since a win over the Cardinal back in 2019. So that was a positive, right? Are you just looking for a little more consistency from your squad?
Yeah, I would just say just a little bit more. We're right there. We're right there. We're doing a lot of really good things. But for us to continue with what we're wanting to do, to finish out the pack and then on to postseason, we've got to keep just elevating our game weekend after weekend.
What are some of your learning, I guess, teaching moments after a series like this, Coach? What are some of the focuses in practice to take that next step that you've been talking about?
I just think the opportunity, when we have opportunity, that you got to take it. I think to be clean, I think you can't give anything away to the opponent. The pack is already tough enough. So to open up opportunity for your opponent doesn't work as well either. So just cleaning a couple things up and continuing to do what we know how to do.
Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi joining us. It's the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line. Over at Jane Sanders Stadium, Coach, what's the practice schedule today? I mean, I feel like I don't get a chance to actually ask you that question very often. What are you guys going to do at practice today?
Well, usually we start off a little bit of defense and start seeing defensively like where we want to play and if there's any shifts or how we want to go about it. And then we usually get into some of our different hitting stations. We have pitchers that are throwing live. So we get after it at practice for sure.
Practice, I always hear coaches say some phrase like, practice makes perfect, but then it's also perfect practice makes perfect. I feel like you're one on that side of the spectrum, right?
I believe that what you find in the game shows up in practice. So that's what I believe. I'm a firm believer of that. Things that show up in the game definitely are going to show up at practice. So it's about really being great at practice. We talk a lot about being great at practice so we can be great in the game.
Talking about some of your freshmen, I wanted to ask you, is you had all 4 true freshman position players in the starting lineup on Sunday. You saw a couple athletes get their first career starts, which is always kind of cool. Tell us a little bit about the youth of the team, how you thought the freshmen performed this weekend.
Yeah, well, you've gotten to see a lot of Alyssa and Hannah, and I think they continue to do what they're doing. Alyssa had an unbelievable catch at shortstop this weekend. It was nice to see Gabby Herrera come in and get some at-bats. She's been really, really working hard in practice and has had some really great at-bats. And so to give her an opportunity, and you could see she battles at the plate. Love her battle. And then also with Taya, she got to start at first, had a nice hit. Just has a good look to her over at first base, and same thing's been really working hard and had an opportunity. And I think it's just those opportunities, when you get them, you got to take them. And then to see Reagan come in and close out Saturday and give us a big win, that's what she's capable of. She throws gas. So, I mean, just to have that closer's mentality come in and knowing that we need however many outs and get them, that was a good sign, just to look what's ahead for us, for her.
And what's ahead now on the schedule is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the usual Saturday doubleheader. The Ducks are heading to Tempe. Arizona State is the opponent. Just another top 12 team, Coach. Arizona State any good this year?
Yeah, very good. Yep, very good. At the plate, good defense. They run well. They pitch well. I mean, every time you ask me about the opponent, I'm pretty much saying the same thing. Every weekend, like I said, it's a super regional. It's just continuing to grind out the pack and get what we want from it.
Do you get a chance to take a breath at any point in a Pac-12 season?
No.
I appreciate that. But that does mean, in all seriousness, we kind of joke about this. I joke about it because the Pac-12 is just so ridiculously good in softball. But you are battle-tested come the end of the season, right, Coach? I mean, there's something to be said for that.
No question. And that's what it's all about. It's about understanding how to grind in the pack. And each weekend is it's individual weekend, and to walk away from a great weekend, to walk away and learn from a weekend maybe that you didn't get what you wanted, because when it comes down to it, we are going to be battle tested and really, really prepared for what's next. So it's just continuing to do what we know how to do.
It's a top 12 series for the Ducks. Starts Friday at 5 o'clock on Pac-12 Network. Also, this is going to be really cool. Our buddies from KWVA, they're going to travel. They're going to be with you guys this weekend. We've got the radio broadcasts for the student radio station on 88.1 as well. Really looking forward to it, Coach. Well, hey, best of luck out there. Safe travels, and hope that you come back with a few victories, all right?
That sounds great. Thanks,
Melyssa
Joey.
Lombardi, kind enough to join us, doing it live today, as they say. So that was a lot of fun. We might have to do this again. All right, Oregon softball against Arizona State. Series starts at 5 o'clock on Friday against ASU. We're going to get a quick timeout. When we come back, tons of football interviews today, actually. Yes, we had some bad news, but also some good news to tell you about next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Freedom, Toyota hybrids say, let's go, faster and further, with 10 hybrid models to choose from and tons of top tech. The best part? Every Toyota hybrid offers an extended hybrid battery warranty for 10 years or 150,000 miles. So let's go places, Toyota hybrids.
For Toyota hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and fuel cell and battery electric vehicles beginning with model year 2020. The hybrid HV battery is covered for 10 years from original date of first use or 150,000 miles, whichever comes first. Coverage is subject to terms and conditions of your new vehicle limited warranty. See owner's warranty and maintenance guide for details.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics. This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe. I didn't know the trees were so amazing. Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb. That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. My thanks to Melyssa Lombardi joining us, the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line. I mean, you know, I really do think, I think you could probably hear the frustration from both Coach Wazikowski and Coach Lombardi this past weekend, but man, what a position to be in that you're frustrated that you didn't get a series sweep. I mean, the Ducks in both those sports are right there, and you know, I did talk with Coach Wazikowski about that. You'll hear it coming up for those of you who are live with us in the 1 o'clock hour. Our baseball pregame show will be coming up at 3:45 with a 4 o'clock first pitch on the Oregon live stream. Myself and Alex Simpson will have the call, and I asked Coach Wazikowski kind of the same question, like, man, you know, it's still a series win, right? And you guys are still in a good spot. But that's where these programs are at, that it's, well, no, they don't want just to win the series. They want to try to sweep the series. I thought that was really cool to hear. Some bad news today from the University of Oregon lacrosse team. They have withdrawn from the upcoming Pac-12 tournament because of COVID-19 protocols. Oregon was scheduled to face Arizona State in the opening round of the Pac-12 tournament on May 5th. Ducks closed the 2021 season with an overall record of 3-9, including 2-4 in Pac-12 play. Chelsea Hoffman, head coach for the Ducks, saying, quote, "We were disappointed to end the season without being able to compete at our conference tournament. I am extremely proud of all the hard work for our student athletes and what they've put in this year while battling through unique and difficult circumstances. Unfortunately, University of Oregon lacrosse, their season comes to a close, and it just stinks." If you were with us earlier, you might have heard me say it, but I'm going to say it again because Monica Vaughn is going to the U.S. Open. It's so cool. Duck assistant coach for Derek Radley. And by the way, the women's golf team going to find out their postseason fate tomorrow on the selection show tomorrow morning. You can watch it on the Golf Channel, I believe, at 10 or 11 a.m. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's at 10 a.m. It's on the Golf Channel, though. Oregon Women's Golf will find out their postseason slotting. And I think this team could really go a long way. I really believe that. I think this is a pretty special group. So why not have your assistant coach just continue to dominate and do amazing things? That's pretty darn cool. And meanwhile, today, men's golf, you heard Rob Mullens mention just how good of a round it was yesterday. Well, freshman Yuki Moriyama, man, he was great. 10 under par, one shot off the lead, and in second place alone after shooting rounds of 65 and 69 yesterday. They played 2 rounds yesterday in the Pac-12 championships for men's golf. Oregon currently sitting in third place heading into the round today. More updates you can find on the Oregon men's golf social media pages. Follow along at Oregon M Golf on Twitter. Anthony Brown met with the media today. He talked for nearly 8 minutes. The Oregon quarterback who plans to take all the number 1 reps when the Ducks will face off against themselves at Autzen Stadium on Saturday. Again, unfortunately, no fans at Autzen Stadium with the elevated risk level for the county, but we will have a broadcast on the Oregon Sports Network on the radio side with Jerry Georgie and myself on the call. Pac-12 Network going to have the TV broadcast as well. Anthony Brown talking with the media after practice today.
How has this been for you, just considering everything?
Considering everything, just to keep it short, it's been an experience. Something that's hard to explain, and it would take me all day to explain it, so I'll just leave it at that.
Anthony, you obviously had the chance to go pro or find another school after this last season. Why stick it out at Oregon, and kind of how great has it been seeing that pay off with all those first-team reps so far in spring?
Just having faith. Sticking it out here, I feel like was my best option, and I felt like there was a lot more to take from this opportunity, and we're still here and we're still grinding. So,
Anthony, where do you feel like you're at in understanding just the overall concepts of the playbook, and from where you were last year at this time? Or
I feel like the reps compared to last year in practice at least has a huge role in where I'm at and understanding the offense, understanding the plays, the concepts, in accordance to the defense and the defensive looks that we get. So repetition is a big thing, and mental reps and physical reps don't compare, even though mental reps are actually really, really, really important. So repetition would be the biggest step in between this year and last year.
Anthony, what were you doing last April and May when, everything was kind of shut down, a lot of the team went home? How did you stay, I guess, sharp? And at what point during the season did you finally feel comfortable with Oregon?
I felt comfortable during the summertime when I was here. But last year around this time, April, May, I was here when everybody was home. I was getting rehab done, doing work on my own, and just kind of feeling out Oregon because I've never been on this side of the country. Well, that's a lie. I've never been to Oregon before. So that was the biggest change, being away from home, so far away from home, and trying to adjust to it. But I would say that's the biggest thing.
Anthony, Coach tells us you've been getting all the reps with the ones in spring camp here, but I was wondering, now that you're the veteran of the group, what do you think from the young quarterbacks behind you?
I see a lot of potential. They are all really, really talented. It's hard to really point out one, but man, it's gonna be fun watching Oregon after I leave here.
How serious were the considerations about moving somewhere else?
Considerations weren't too serious, but it's always there. Just had to talk with my family and talk to my coaches about what I wanted to do, what the situation was, and how we were going to continue moving forward.
What are some specific parts of your game that you're looking to grow in 2021?
Consistency and keeping everybody, I would say just controlling the mood and the speed of our offense, basically, because we only move as fast as I move. And the more efficient I am, the more efficient we will be as an offense. So,
Anthony, we saw you a little bit last year. This is really your only time, I think, in televised until the season opener against Fresno State for you to play quarterback here with the ones. How much is this weekend's game mean to you, and what are you kind of hoping to get out of it?
One is almost like a childhood dream. Oregon and UF were my two favorite schools growing up. So just having the opportunity to play in the spring game here in Autzen Stadium is incredible. The spring game is a big opportunity for me. I just plan on having fun and just doing what we can.
Just because you've played so much football and have been in a lot of locker rooms, can you describe the talent and kind of presence that Kayvon Thibodeau brings to you guys?
KT brings a different level of intensity to practice every day. And I respect it. I love it. And I'm happy that he brings that every day, because you don't get that talent everywhere in the country where you can see it every day in practice. And he's coming every single play. He doesn't take any plays off. And hats off to him. And he's a special guy. So
can you maybe speak to just the work that the offensive line has been able to do?
They're working their tails off. They don't make excuses, like you said, and they just keep on pushing along. And wherever coach says they are, there's always another place to go, because we're trying to reach a standard, and we're not trying to get better than the day before, but we're trying to get better than – I just said that backwards, but you understand where I'm going with that.
Anthony, how has your chemistry and comfort with the receiving core, particularly the ones, Devin, Johnny, Mike, Jalen, just enhanced and further gone along here with all this increased reps and the increased time and not splitting reps with Tyler and stuff? Just how has that progressed here the last couple of months?
Just the last couple of months, we've been working out a lot together, and just our chemistry it's gotten better and better, but there's still a lot of opportunity and room for us to improve. And we plan on taking advantage of the time that we have together in these next few months going into the season.
Anthony, you guys have some proven production in the backfield there with you, with Travis and CJ. What's it been like, this spring with them? And, does it give you some confidence, knowing that you have some really solid backs there?
I'm always going to have confidence having those two in the backfield. Two great football players, two great leaders, and they don't take any day for granted. They don't take any rep for granted, at least in practice as well. So I would say I have all the confidence in the world in those two.
What tight ends are you having special connections with on the receiving side of things this camp?
Spencer Webb has always been there. Justin. Wow, I'm thinking of his brother. Patrick Herbert has been really well. He had a great catch today, a really strong catch. And I haven't really been able to work with the young guys yet, but I'll probably get some work in with them this summer.
You mentioned the younger guys, and Oregon's going to be in a good spot once you leave. What is kind of your hope what are you trying to get out of them, or what can you offer them during your time here to kind of help make sure they maximize their time here later?
Try to give them some insight on what there is to come in the future as far as their mental capacity, and trying to keep them level-headed and let them know that there's a lot more out there for them to just go grab, but it's only there for your taking. You can't just expect it to come to you. Take every opportunity that you get. So
while that's the primary focus for the week, what's the focus after Saturday for you?
After Saturday, I'll probably just be here in Oregon, working with the guys and trying to figure out as many ways as possible that we can close the gap and just improve so we can be tight-knit as possible coming up this season, or coming up to fall camp at least, and just do everything we can to improve moving forward.
Anthony Brown, the guy who will be taking all those first-team reps. But, Coach Cristobal has continued to say that it's not his job. This is the spring. Still got the fall camp to go through, and I think the Ducks have a lot of competition there at the quarterback position. Now, Anthony Brown's got the experience. There's a lot of talent in that room, though. And I thought that was a cool answer from him, too, talking about, what can he give to that next generation of quarterback here at Oregon. I think that there's a lot that they can learn from a guy like Anthony Brown, who, he said that one of his dreams was to play at Autzen Stadium. That's pretty cool. He's going to get a chance to do that here coming up. When we come back, a preview of Oregon baseball today. The Ducks playing 2 against San Jose State, 1 tonight, 1 tomorrow. That means no Duck Insider for us tomorrow, actually. I should have said that earlier. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Hundo P. Hundo P. Adjective. Short for being 100% sure or certain. As in, if we get a puppy, I'll Hundo P always walk it.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Unfortunately, the news today with Lane County moving to extreme risk on Friday. That means no fans at Autzen Stadium for Saturday's spring game. It's a disappointing development, but as we've all learned over the last now 14-plus months or so, pivot. Just find me a Ross Geller trying to move a couch up a staircase video on repeat, and that's pretty much been my internal monologue this year. To those of you who were going to come out to Autzen Stadium, we sure will miss you, and I hope that coming up in the fall, it's going to be a more regular fall and a more regular football season. That's the news today. Meanwhile, we do have baseball coming up today. Huge couple games because the Ducks, frustrated they didn't get a series sweep over UCLA. Now Oregon will pivot and get ready for a Tuesday matchup here at 3:45, the pregame show, and a 4 o'clock first pitch for the Ducks against San Jose State. San Jose State's a team that they haven't played a lot of games. They only played 14 games this year. Weird. I asked Coach Wasikowski about that, and he said, hey, yeah, we don't have a lot of tape on them. It's going to be all about us. Looking forward to Oregon today. 4 o'clock, Duck baseball. Also tomorrow, it's a noon start. It's supposed to be a beautiful day for baseball tomorrow. That means no Duck Insider for us tomorrow, though, because I'll be at PK Park. Maybe Scott will do the show by himself. I guess we'll find out.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving